Hey trainers, Poke Dad here, and today we have some breaking news on one of Pokemon's best, Igor Costa, and some heavy accusations of him cheating or doing shady stuff during tournaments is just now coming to light. This, for instance, what we're looking at here happened 3 years ago at the Boston World Championship, top 8 match against Simon Narode. So, two very good players. And Simon is saying that, after all this time, he feels like it's time to come forward on some stuff that had bothered him about his match against Igor. And so, before we dive into this, let me make it clear. I don't know if Igor cheated or not. I'm just going to present the evidence, and you can make your own determination of whether there's foul play here or not. And then at the end, I'll give my opinion on what we have here. So let's hop into it. I'm about to hit play, and apparently Simon is saying that Igor's super scoop ups are curved or bent a little bit, and that gives him an advantage to know where they are. So there's the super scoop up. I can't tell if one of these corners are bent from this angle. Simon obviously can see, has a clear path to see if they're curved at all. So the first piece of evidence I'm not sold on, that Simon's saying the super scoop ups are curved, because I can't tell from this view. We have a straight down view, so I can't. Same with the prizes. I can't tell if any of them are curved or raised up off the playmat. Again, this is a view that you would want to have kind of at this angle, so if you see any playmat underneath kind of the middle of the bottom card. And apparently the older foils warped and curved quite a bit, or easily, some would say, and then others say, no, they don't really. So I can't say one way or another. Okay, notice, let me pause right here, because this is something Simon points out too. See where he took his prize? He took it at the bottom, right? So keep that in mind going forward. And obviously you can take the middle prize if you want, or the top prize. But normally in these stream games, you won't see him take random cards out of the prizes. You'll see him take from the bottom to the top. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that's evidence or anything like that. Just he takes from the bottom his prize. So now let's fast forward to the other piece of evidence Simon posted, which was at 28:33 or so. So let's hop right there. Toad has 100 damage. Donphan on the bench doing some huge damage. So let's see what we got here. Super scoop up. See how he grabs the corner? So maybe that's what Simon was saying, that it's bent or warped a little bit, that he just grabs just the tiny corner. Fails the super scoop up. He needed a heads, because he really doesn't have anything else ready on the bench to deal with basically 3 Donphans and a Halucha hitting hard. So Ultra Balls for the Golbat. 20 damage on the Donphan. He realizes he needs to get a knockout. Here's the shady stuff. Gets Crobat, puts it down. 30 on the Donphan for the knockout. Whoa! Heyo. So last game we take this one. This game we take this one. Now that wouldn't be CD, like I said. There's no prize. You can take whichever prize card you want. But look which prize card was the one he grabbed. Super Scoop Up. Knowing that he had to hit Super Scoop Up to heal the damage off the Toad. So of course, pivotal moment in the game right here. Remove the threat of the Donphan. Now can we heal all the damage? It's heads. All the damage. Oh. So this is in no way incriminating, other than Simon saying that the super scoop ups were curved or warped a little bit, and so that's how he knew which prize to take. So, whether that's true or not, I don't know, because we don't have the same view that Simon does if the card's warped or not. And they do a lot of deck checks, especially going into the top 8 and all that, or even top 4. They deck check these, so I mean, if there were some anomalies, I can't even say that word, to the cards being warped or something like that. See, remember he hit Super Scoop Up and put down Toad and DCE, and then he via Secret for Juniper, played Juniper, and now he's attaching Water right here. So this is the most shady thing that he did here, other than grabbing the one specific prize that had to be Super Scoop Up. I mean, take it as you will. If maybe he knew that was Super Scoop Up, maybe he didn't. Maybe he just got super lucky and took the 1 out of a 6 chance to get the Super Scoop Up. I don't know. You decide for yourself. But there's no getting around this. He attached DCE to Toad after the Super Scoop Up via Secret for the Juniper, and now he's attaching Water. Simon and the judge are on their A game, and they quickly shut that down. See? Whoa. You attached DCE. So, that's the evidence from Simon that some crazy stuff was going on with Igor. I'll just let this play in the background. The next piece of evidence comes from Sorina Radu. Very well-respected member of the community. She's saying that in her game against Igor in Seattle, they were playing Drampa Garb in a mirror match, and it was getting close to time, and Igor had to take 2 prizes in order to win. Otherwise, the game would... Sorina had to win the next turn, and it was going to end in a tie. Igor won game 1, and he had to take the last 2 prizes, while Sorina was going to win game 2. So, in order for Igor to win, he apparently had to hit Field Blower, Lysander, to get enough items in the discard to take a knockout on Lele with Trash Lanch. So, he whiffs the Field Blower, but he gets the Lysander. So he Lysanders up Trubbish, and then he pauses with the Lysander. So he announces Lysander Trubbish. Sorina immediately puts Trubbish in the active, and he just pauses, she says, for like 15-20 seconds. And then he decides, no, Tapu Lele GX. And then he says, all right, Trash Lanch for the game, and he scoops up his cards. And Sorina made the mistake of, I think she said, no, I don't have enough items in the discard, and she goes to count them, and Igor says, oh, you do. You have enough. It's a knockout. And then he proceeds to take the ticket up and turn it in. Well, where Sorina screwed up is she should have countered her cards or her items in the discard, and if there wasn't enough to get the knockout on Lele, then just sit there, call a judge, and when the judge comes over and she explains what happened and all his stuff is scooped up, he would automatically take the loss for that, whether he had the knockout on Lele or not, because he scooped and disrupted the play situation to where it can't be reversed. He takes the L on that one. So Sorina ends up with a tie there. And she later talks about, in hindsight, that's what she would have done. That's what she should have done. And she didn't report it because you have to understand with these big name players, I mean, you take a chance when you throw their name around. These are supposedly the top tier of Pokemon, and they're basically their poop don't stink. And so you have to tread lightly whenever you throw these guys under the bus, so to speak. Even though it may not be throwing them under the bus, maybe it's just telling the truth. But Sorina, I don't think she's one to make this stuff up. That's not in her character. So we have that, And then next thing you know, Chris Hoag comes out and talks about an experience against Igor where Igor was playing Sableye Garbodor, and he junk hunts and grabs one puzzle and a parallel city instead of the second puzzle. Or he has the puzzle off to the side to where like he could grab it, and he didn't, but he had it kind of. Chris said he had it the third puzzle positioned in a way where he could grab it maybe like real quick if Chris wasn't paying attention. And you know there's not much evidence for that, if any. It's just he's just telling what he saw, how he saw it in the match. So I mean, why would he lie? There's nothing to gain about lying or coming out. But I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, because Igor is a long, outstanding player in Pokemon who's had a lot of success. And to think that this stuff is just now coming to light, I think it gets worse before it gets better. So, but that's all the evidence. So, here's where I'm at with all this. Is there enough proof in this matchup with Simon? There's the double attachment. There's he just happened to get the scoop up out of the 6 prizes, and he took his prizes opposite order that he did game 1, which there's nothing foul about that. Other than he happened to know exactly which prize the super scoop up is, unless it was a major coincidence, 1 out of 6 chance, right? Okay, so the Sorina thing, I don't see her lying, because she also, after it happened, texted, I believe, Mark Manning, about that she just got scumbagged out of a win or something to that effect. And so I don't think that she's lying or anything about that. And then the Chris Hoag, that he's just recounting his experience with Igor while he was playing Sableye Garb, trying to sneak a third puzzle in his hand with Junk Hunt. Also, another guy came, I don't know his name, but he came forward saying that Igor, probably the most damning evidence right here, Igor bribed this guy in round 14 to scoop to him, and that he would give him some of the prize money. So the guy's, okay, he really likes Igor and looks up to him, admires him. So yeah, if I can help out one of my favorite Pokemon players of all time, that's fine. So the guy scoops to Igor, and Igor ends up paying in a transaction by Nicolina Moon, his girlfriend, Igor's girlfriend, Nicolina Moon, $150 to this guy's account. And he's got timestamps. He's got the PayPal transaction. There's no way of getting around this. People are trying to say, it could have been for a transaction for cards or anything, but it was timestamped like that day or next day after this tournament. He showed proof of the match slip against Igor in round 14. All the evidence is there. So, this guy's not making it up, apparently. So, so that's the evidence. We got the Simon Narode evidence, which started it all. And then we have the accusations of Igor bribed the guy to get... The reason why Igor was bribing was to try to maintain his championship points to stay in the top 16. So you have a bribe, which in Pokemon you don't do that. You don't determine a win by coin flip. You don't predetermine it. The only thing you can do is offer your opponent an ID once, and if they do not take the ID, then you can't ask again. So... So you've got that evidence of the bribe. Then you've got Sorina saying that he scumbagged out of a win. Said that he had a knockout on Lele when he didn't have enough, or she didn't have enough items for Trash Lance to take a knockout on Lele. And then you have Chris Hoag saying that he tried to palm a card out of the discard pile with Junk Hunt, a third card. So that's all the evidence. So you can make a decision for yourself on foul play, not foul play, just coincidence, just misunderstandings, whatever you want to chalk it up to. Here's where I'm at with it. Igor is still a kid. Most of these players are still kids, and I say kids because they're old enough, or they're young enough to be my son or daughter. So you throw young 20-year-olds in the mix of a game, and you offer them thousands of dollars, okay? You offer them thousands of dollars, because to win a regional, it's like, what, 15,000 or something like that, and in second place, 10,000. So you offer them all this money, right? And then if they make top 16, then all their travel's paid for, their hotel's paid for. So there's so much incentive to just cut corners and cheat if that's in your character. And it has to be hard because most of these kids, they're either on their own in their apartment with maybe a lower paying job because they are young. Maybe they're in college and so they have a lot of student loans or the extra cash to do stuff with their friends or whatever. You know, a lot of these kids try to play full time and be professional Pokemon players. Like, this is their job. And if you don't win and do good, then how do you pay your bills? So there's a lot of pressure to pay their bills or their student loans or whatever have you, to take these moves and cut corners and do shady stuff and sneaky stuff because maybe they feel like they have to. Maybe they need to do it to pay their rent, to get their food or whatnot, or just to stay at the top so they can remain well liked in the game. And so I'm kind of a where there's smoke there's fire. So there's a lot of damning evidence. I'm not here to say one way or the other, but I'm just saying that when you throw thousands of dollars in the mix with these younger guys and kids, and you don't think something sneaky is going to happen, not necessarily cheating, but some, hey, I'll cut you in on a couple $100 if you give me this win. You know, if you don't think something like that stuff is going on quite a bit, then I think you're wrong. I think it happens more than we know about, and I just hope people don't turn a blind eye to it now. I hope more people come forward if there's other situations like this that has happened, because it's wrong. I mean, predetermining the outcome of a game like that, and it just, you know, for the ones that are really trying to get their championship points or earn money or prizes, you know, it really affects them. So I think it's bad. Did Igor cheat? Did he not? I don't know for sure. He's probably the only one, or the ones that have played against him can tell you the truth on it, of what really happened. But there's a lot of evidence here, and so, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. So that's where I stand with it. So don't go hating in the comments, because I'm not saying he cheated. I'm not saying he didn't cheat. I'm just saying there's the evidence. Make your own determination of the validity of all these accusations. I mean, there's more than one. There's 4 different accusations going around. So I guess we'll wait and see. It's looking like something may have to happen here. So I guess we'll just see how it plays out. So until next time, be excellent to each other.